Hello and welcome to this new Slippy Limpets video. We're out in Northumberland. I've got my beach caster and we are fishing a remote beach, or attempting to anyway. The wind is howling and it's daylight of course, so it's not always the best conditions. We're fishing one of the most remote beaches in Northumberland. It's about a 45-50 minute walk from where you can park the car. The beach is huge, predominantly sand. I don't think there's any rocks on it. Never fished here before. I've just been here for a walk with the family and it's a really nice place. Plus I've always wanted to fish here before. So it is about 12:30. Low tide was about 20 minutes ago, and the idea is because I've not fished here before, I'm going to check out the ground during daylight, and hopefully if I've got enough bait left, we'll fish in through the dark and see what pops up after night time. Normally quarry in this area or targets are cod. Being it's a clean sandy beach, that's highly unlikely, so maybe a little flatfish or a little coalie might kind of take a liking to my bait. Conditions wise, as I've said, it's really windy. It's about 5 degrees, so it's pretty chilly, although I'm sweating walking in all this distance with all this kit. The wind's blowing westerly, so it's blowing straight offshore, so hopefully that's on my back. I mean, in reality it's a bit of a risk coming here because I didn't know what the conditions were like at this beach. I still don't really, I'm still half an hour away, so I'm going to carry on trudging along these dunes and get to the beach, and hopefully it's not too windy that I can actually get my line in the water and set up. So yeah, let's get along there and see what it brings, and let's get along there and see what's about. Had a first glimpse of the sea there, and the water looks swell's not as big as I was hoping. Looks like there's a bit of colour in the water though. There's a few birds working there, so a lot of weed. Oh, I'll check that out for a beach. Now where do I fish? So if I talk through this, you can see waves breaking further away from the shore there, so there's obviously a sandbar. There's nothing breaking really in front of us apart from there. That must be another sandbar there, and this must be deeper water right in front of me. Further down the beach, tide goes out a lot further. That's Holy Island there in the background, Lindisfarne Castle, and you can see those breakers way off the beach, so that indicates there's a big sandbar there, but also there's no sand dunes, so the wind, you can see the plumes of water coming off the back of the waves, and that just indicates how windy it is. So I don't know, I think I might just fish in front of us. I'm not being lazy here, but that looks like the deepest water because there's no waves breaking, as I've just said. I could go up to the far end of the beach. It probably offers a bit more protection from the wind. I'm not sure. I was going to say I'm half tempted to go down the other end, but I can still see plumes of water getting blown off the back of the waves, so I'm going to give this a go in front. Can always move later on. This weed in the water is a little bit worrying, but never mind. There's birds working the water at least. Let's give it a go. Going to keep an eye on this set here. Gives a good indication of where the sandbars are. Yeah, cast behind there, you can see the waves reforming. So there's obviously a little gully right in front of there, and then it's going to dump on the shore. Obviously the wind blowing offshore has a big effect on this. But it's looking pretty good. As I've just walked down the beach here, you can see just over there in front of me there's a dry sandbar and then a really big depression right in front of it, so I think as the tide moves in, I'll make a note of where that is in front of the sand dunes there, and then that's where I'm going to be putting my bait, I believe, once the tide's in, if we can carry on fishing that length of time anyway. I'm not sure how much you can hear us, but yeah, it's windy. Well, here we are on the beach, line's finally in the water. That walk felt like it took an age. In reality it was only about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Absolutely sweating with all my kit on, but well worth it given this beach. I mean, the views are spectacular and there's not another rod in sight. So got my lugworm out there. Hopefully there's some fish around. If not, doesn't matter. I mean, this is say it again, it's spectacular. The wind's a real pain for filming, but it's not causing too much of an issue for the fishing. This has had about maybe 10 minutes in the water, so another 15 or 20 and I'm going to bring it back in and recast. Loving it out here. I mean, how can you not? What a place. And there's a rainbow over there as well, which is I'm glad it's over there and not here. That's the first bitey bite. Right, well, this bait's had about half an hour in the water now. I've had one little rattle so far, so that's positive at least. And at least haven't succumbed to the first cast curse, which I'm sure all of you know about. Catching a fish on your first cast can always spell disaster for the rest of the trip. Can't pick them up on camera, but looks like there's a load of little puffins just kind of diving in and around where my line's hitting the water, so if there's some sort of fish around, then that's a good sign as well. The tide's started pushing in now, but let's get this bait in and get another one on the some more worms on the hook. Oh, this reel is nice and smooth. The line's heavy, but I'm assuming I've just got a load of weed on it. Part of the problem with going for a more torquey reel, a lower gear ratio, is it doesn't retrieve as quickly, but that must have a lot of weed on here. It's got some bend in my rod, but yeah, it doesn't retrieve as quickly, but shouldn't be an issue over clean ground like this. Really like the handle as well, nice big easy thing to grab a hold of. Hey, I've actually got a fish. I spoke too soon about the first cast curse. Gonna got myself a flounder. I don't actually know how long that's been on there, but yeah, a fish. Get in. Woo! Off like a shot. I saw the hit from that flounder, but didn't feel anything on my line, so I don't know how long it's been there. Unfortunately, the camera wasn't recording either on my windings. Good news as well, I've still got a little bit of bait on, which means there aren't too many crabs about. One fish, one cast. Come on! Let's get a couple more of these lugworm on. Tide's really starting to push in now and I'm in a divot, so I'm going to have to keep moving my stuff back quite quickly. There's a small worm in there that I can bolster the bottom up with. That one will do. If you ever use these and you're on a beach, it's good to just give them a little wiggle just in case there's any sand in the mechanism. So you don't want it to not unclip when your line goes out. Alright, let's get this out. Well, first impressions of this reel is very good. The line retrieve isn't quite as quick as my Ultegra was. Like we were saying earlier, I've sacrificed a bit of retrieve speed for some torque. For when I'm in the rougher ground with some big cod. Went maybe about 30 yards there. Not the biggest cast, but it's deep water straight out from us, I think. Oh, some good waves there. Should have brought my surfboard. You know, it looks really bassy. Right, well, that's my second bait in the water. It's, I don't know what time it is. I haven't put my watch on today, so just kind of going off the sun. I'd say it's about 2 o'clock. I'm not Crocodile Dundee, so I don't really know, but yeah, a few hours yet till darkness. Our first cast obviously brought us a fish, which is great. It's not a codling, but I'm not here to catch cod really. It's unlikely I'm going to get one in the daylight anyway. I might get them at night time. It's good to get a fish because I honestly thought I was going to blank here today. I really just came to get, well, like an empty beach in terms of fishermen, which I've got. There's not another angler on this beach. Just a few families and some tourists, and it looks glorious. I mean, there's birds diving. I should have brought my lure rod, you know. There's a gannet out there working. Like I said earlier, it looks like there's little, I don't know, diving birds of some sort. Either puffins or something. They're just in the breakers there. If I had my lure rod, that would be a smashing sign, you know. But yeah, second bait in the water. Let's see what this one brings. It'd be great if I could get a multi-species day. Wouldn't mind a turbot. Never caught one on bait. I've only just caught a tiny little turbo on a metal jig before. Probably asking a bit much there, but who knows what darkness will bring. But aye, loving it. I just had a little rattle there, didn't come back, so this bait's been in the water now, I think, for 25 minutes, so it's probably time for a fresh one. And while I'm doing that, I can move my camera in it. Yeah, GoPro's just run out of batteries. Move everything back up the beach again. Just saying, with this barely a breath of wind on the water, I'd love to have had a big patch here or some sort of top water. Just as I talk about the wind, here it comes. It's the biggest gust I've had for maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. It's been really quite pleasant, but it's still not too bad. I'm not complaining. Ooh. A little knock. Got some rain coming in, so I was just waterproofing my camera with the good old duct tape. And out the corner of my eye I saw my little my rod tip just give a couple of taps there. Oh, whatever it was, I missed it. Oh, no I didn't. Thought I missed it. I reckon it's another flatty. Doesn't feel as heavy as the last one. Oh, there's something on the surface. Yeah, I can see it water skiing in now. The retrieve on this reel isn't too bad. Oh, what is it? Doesn't look like a flatty. No, is that a... Oh. It's a bass. Whoa! I said it looked bassy, but I wasn't expecting to catch one. Here we go. Nice little schoolie here. Wasn't expecting this at all, not in Northumbrian winter. Nice and green on the top, look at that. It's not massive, probably 35 centimeters or so, but a welcome catch nonetheless. Awesome. Let's get him back. Long and skinny. I knew it looked bassy here, but there's a rip coming just behind here. There you go. Go on, mate, this way. No, the other way, mate. Go on. Yeah, look at him. Off like a shot. Well, that bait was in the water for about 10 minutes. I was just busy waterproofing my camera up because it looks like we're getting some rain coming in. And I saw her out the corner of my eye like a little tap. I thought it was a flatty at first. Picked up my rod, held it for a few minutes and felt another little tap. And lifted into it and I thought I'd missed it, but then slacklined us. That little schoolie was dragging a 7-ounce lead behind him, so I knew then I was into a fish, but I wasn't expecting a bass, to be honest. When I saw it I was thinking it was more like a codlin, being Northumberland, but yeah, happy days. 2 casts, 2 fish, flounder and a bass. If there's one about, there might be a bigger one about. I don't want to jinx it, but the wind seems to have calmed down a little bit. 3 more of these little lugworm on. And sit on the bottom because you're a fatty. Well, I was just talking about that wind dying down, but it seems to have swung around a bit and picked up again. Don't mind it behind me back, but as soon as it comes crosswind, cross shore, then it gets really difficult to fish in. Oh no, my new reel's covered in sand. I didn't cast that very far at all. It's just in behind these breakers here, and you can see the rip moving from left to right. If I can get it out past where that wave's about to break, I'll be happy. Yeah, it is a puffin right on the shoreline there. Well, it's 3:30 and still on my 3rd cast now, so I was pretty close when I was guessing the time earlier. But I haven't had anything on this this cast so far, but just want it. The wind has died off just to a tiny breeze at the moment. It's really pleasant. I hope this stays like it is now, because it could get a little tricky later on in the dark are not any more tricky, I guess, but just not as comfortable. You know, it'd be quite cold at 3 degrees with 30-mile-an-hour wind blowing, but yeah, it's really nice at the moment. The sun's just gone down, the moon's up over there. Does look like there's some rain blowing in, but hopefully, fingers crossed, the last one just passed by us without even spitting on me at the moment. So it's looking good so far, and it's not actually forecast for rain. And if it stays clear like this, then the stars are going to be amazing tonight. And the fishing's been pretty good during the day, or daylight, you know, when we third cast 2 fish, so it's pretty good ratio so far. So hopefully as the sun goes down, we'll get into the witching hour properly. Thought I had a hit there, but that was a wave. We'll get into the witching hour, and then after dark, who knows what's going to happen. I'm glad I decided to come out. I nearly didn't because of the forecast. You know, you look and sit there and look on all your devices and all the different forecasts and hum and ha. I thought, oh, it's going to be way too windy, especially after last week when everything got blown over and smashed my reel. It's been an expensive week having to get a new reel, but I am glad I made the effort with the 60-mile journey and an hour, well, 40-minute long walking. Guess you don't know what you're going to get unless you got a line in the water. Whoop, there we go, there was a little hit. Is it going to come back? Come on, come back. You know you want some more lugworm. Oh, look at the water out there. Perfect for top water bass fishing. By the way, I snapped my bass rod, or my lure, or my general lure rod, so I'm on the market for a new one. If anyone's got any ideas, then drop a comment below, because there's obviously quite a lot of different rods out there, and I was thinking about maybe getting the same one again, but yeah, I had an issue with the top eye. It had a big lump on it where they'd welded the eye onto the legs, and the tip wrapped all the time. So I want something that doesn't do that. Leave a comment below. It doesn't look like this fish is coming back. Well, there's the sun behind us. And the moon up there. Incidentally, those bites coincided with the moonrise, which I've found before actually. Well, I just had a little rattle there. Didn't come back, so this bait's been in the water now, I think, for 25 minutes, so it's probably time for a fresh one. And while I'm doing that, I can move my camera in. Yeah, GoPro's just run out of batteries. Barely a breath of wind on the water. I'd love to have had a big patch here, or some sort of top water. Just as I talk about the wind, here it comes. Get this battery back on charge, ready for the next time. Go on. Get smashed by a massive fish. Go on. Go on. You can do it now. Now the camera's on. Like that's ever gonna happen. Alright, I've just set all my lights up, ready for darkness. It's time to bring this in. Feels heavy again. I think this reel's got some cranking power. Normally I'd have to pump with my XSB with that sort of weight. XSC, sorry. Don't think I've got anything on, I think it's just weed. Oh no, I've got another fish. Another flatty. It's funny, these flatties don't really register much. Although it looks like a tiny one, so I'm not surprised. Transparent actually. I think that is a dab. There's no spots on it. Doesn't have the rough centre. Well, there we go. There's the third fish. a dab this time, I think. Doesn't really have the any spots or the rough skin that it floundered us down the centre, so there it is. Go on, son. Yeah, he's flapping. He's alright. I can't remember whether that's my third or my fourth cast. Third, I think, and 3 fish, so 3 and 3. Not too bad so far. The light's really dimming now, so yeah, hopefully that'll turn the bigger fish on. But I really enjoy myself, you know. The weather's calmed down a bit, the rains keep skirting around us, so that's not a problem. And the fish are biting. Nothing massive, but that's fishing. There's always a chance of something bigger coming, but let's throw out 3 species, a flounder, a dab and a bass, so just need a codlin now, and then I got a good Northumberland quadruple. Oh, and there's a coley as well, of course, forgot about them. Well, I'm going to put some more bait on, some more worms. I'm going to tie a bit of a cocktail, put some razor on there as well, just to mix it up a bit. The swell's really kind of breaking over that sandbar that I was fishing before, so it's making it a little bit trickier because the line's catching in the waves, and there's these massive pieces of kelp floating around, but so far I've managed to avoid those. But yes, 4 fish, 4 casts, sorry, 3 fish, 3 casts. Can I count? I'm not excited. Oh yeah, the wind's come back now. Gave us a little bit of respite, but not much. I was in there. Go around the other side, so the wind's on the back of here. I've only ever used fresh razor claws, so razor clams, so I don't know what this frozen stuff's going to be like. Don't normally like using frozen bait, but I thought I'd give it a go. I was expecting there to be loads of crab, which would just be chomping through me bait, but at the minute looks like I'm crab free. So I put 3 worms on, 3 wraps around me top Pennel hook, pull that tight, get me elastic. It's nice and juicy as well. Put that on nice and tight across the top. And down my hooks there. Whoa. Good job you can't smell this. Or maybe you want to, I don't know. There we go. Bit of a cocktail. Aye, that wind's come back. It's definitely too much to ask, wasn't it, for it to stay away for the rest of the night. Still, at least a nice calm period, and it'll help with my casting. I'm gonna wade out a bit. I didn't before, but there's a big plateau here that I've been fishing back off, so you can see the weed in the water there. I'll do. There's a nice big gust to bob it out with. Oh, look at that sunset. Well, that's our bait out in the water. A lovely sunset behind us there. Got some lights on. Need to stick my head torch on. Get ready for darkness coming in, what, maybe half an hour or so. If it stays clear like this, it's going to be a cracking night, but if it starts raining, it's going to be Baltic. Well, I've got some serious weight on the end of this. I think I've hooked into one of those big clumps of kelp that are around, unfortunately. Actually, shaking it might have done the job there. Maybe not. Well, it's Tiny bit of kelp there. 4 strands. Got us warmed up, that's for sure. That's a bit of a bugger that, like I thought it was going to be, going to get a fish no doubt on that cast, but never mind. Going to move back again and get another bait out. So I'm going to wait a little way. Hopefully I can get past all this weed as well. I don't fancy cranking in another piece of weed like that. That'll do. Oh, that went up, up, up. Not very far out at all, probably 30 yards. So that's the 5th bait in the water now. Didn't go very far at all, probably 30 yards. I could still see it splash out, or splash down even. So I'm going to turn this light out, enjoy the sunset as it's going down. Or the sun's already set, but the dusk and the silence, all I can hear is sea, nothing else. There's no overhead torches, there's no other people. Feels nice and remote. Got a massive piece of weed on my line here. As we stripped hooks as well. Jesus, I'm glad I brought that in. Well, I made it back to the car, but oh, hot head. That piece of kelp was the last thing I reeled in for the night. I hadn't caught anything for hours basically. I'd had a few bites, but I think they were all of smaller fish. Just thinking about the walk back and then the hour and a half long drive. So I left the house at about 10 o'clock this morning. I'm now back in the car at 20 to 11, so it's been a pretty long day. 40-minute walk back, took us about an hour because I'd moved around on the beach so much. I had to figure out exactly how to get off the beach. It's taken probably about an hour and a quarter to get back, but don't go to these places for an easy life really. Been a really good day, good evening, loads of stars, loads of shooting stars, had a few fish, caught a nice little proud bass, not massive, but makes the effort worthwhile, and you don't go to places like this, like I said, for an easy ride. So yeah, happy days. You know, if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell for further video notifications, and until the next one, tight lines. Bye bye.